All right, now we've moved on to the boss, and yes, Knull is going to take this boss, and I'm going to play terribly, and he will still solo it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it is finally time for us to talk about Knull. I believe I am ready to place Knull in the top shelf in my tier rankings champions list, which is based on my advice on who to rank up. I think he goes right here, right above, right under, right with Cosmic Ghost Rider, above Captain Marvel movie. I am convinced of it, and my purpose in this video is to not only teach you and talk about how to play Knull, but to see if you agree with me and to convince my ranking team that he deserves that. Because right now they are not sure. We're going to take a look at, I think it's going to be 5 to 6 fights, and 7.3, he is going to completely destroy the lane. Each fight will be specifically chosen to show a different part of his utility. And there's something else I want you to keep in mind throughout every single fight. We'll be running the full recoil tree masteries, dual edge, bleeding, whatever, the suicides. He will be healing. We'll be throwing specials 1, specials 2, some special 3s. And when we finish the quest, when we get to the boss, he will be at a full yellow health bar, and I will have used absolutely no items. Let's jump into it. All right, I'm not going to read all of his abilities. I know you are able to do that. And also, that's not a really fun video, in my opinion. So we're going to quickly highlight the key things, and then we're going to jump in the fight and show them in action. One of the key things I want to mention is that my Knull, the one I'm going to be showing you here, is Awakened Sig, I think 113, 117, something like that. His Sig goes up in for every 13 signature levels. You can see that here under the corruption. The important part is this, is that when you are awakened, you're going to start fights with your Living Abyss debuff. It will help you get into his damage significantly faster. If you're interested in seeing an unawakened Knull, Simula has done a very, very good video, explains things exceptionally well, and kind of highlights how to go about fighting with Knull when yours is unawakened. I will link that video in the description. The other important part of the signature ability is that while corruption is active, and you want it active as much as you possibly can, when they're at that level of health or less, when they would get a regen effect, they replace it with Knull's degeneration buff. This is awesome. He does place a lot of armor break debuffs and this Living Abyss debuff. So if you run him with the spare before the Sig ability kicks in, it really helps with the healing. But this is there. I like the idea of being able to place a degen debuff as well, and then having the safety net of if you're not in corruption. We'll move quickly into this always active. I talked about this at length or in the beginning, but the bleed and poison resistance, you'll see how this comes into effect. And then the degeneration resistance, that can be extremely helpful. I don't think it's going to get you to be healing from most degeneration, but it can help you survive through the fight or the quest. That's something to keep in mind. And then we're going to talk about this corruption. You're going to want to be inflicting it. What that's basically going to do as far as when you play him is 2 things. It's going to turn the Living Abyss debuffs into armor breaks, and those armor breaks can stack exceptionally, exceptionally high. This video will be about Knull in questing content, so you're not going to see me stacking up to 99. I will do a separate video of him in long form content. Depending on when you're seeing this, if you're interested in seeing the long form content, go to my channel. You can see the Knull playlist, and you'll be able to check that out. The other thing that happens here, and I want to point this out, is that the opponent now suffers from a minus 3.25 current combat power rate for each armor break. This does have a max of 65%, but you will notice, especially in the long fights, but in some of these fights too, a significantly reduced combat power rate of the opponent. You can really take advantage of this by just hammering into them. Now, his attacks are split up between his mediums, heavy, special 1s. Those are all the symbiote attacks. And then his light and special 2, which are the necrosword attacks. The important part to remember here is that the medium, heavy, and special 1 all have true accuracy, avoiding evade and auto block. I will show that. Also, when the opponent is not corrupted, landing a hit or striking into their block has a 75% chance to remove an armor up debuff and place it in the Living Abyss debuff. We'll show that in a fight. And then once the opponent is corrupted, landing your second medium in the combo, not the first, but the second, will consume 3 armor breaks, put back on those Living Abyss debuffs, and you will regenerate 10% of the hit damage and apply a degeneration. Very cool to have multiple sources of damage. We'll show the healing that can come from that in a fight. And then the light and the special 2 pauses the duration of the corruption. We'll see that going in. It's something you really want to take advantage of. And then once the opponent is corrupted, it'll inflict an instant bleed, dealing 65% hit. Very, very cool. Another source of damage that he can take advantage of. Let's jump into those fights. All of these fights are in 7.3, the same lane. I'm going to show you the nodes because they will matter and it'll help you understand some of what's going on in the fight. But basically, when a common attacker fails to trigger a buff, the only reason I'm pointing that out is because something very cool about Knull, something that I look for when I'm trying to differentiate between these top tier champions is there something unique about him? And that is definitely unique about a Cosmic Champion not having any native buffs. Kind of a big deal, something can come into play. The Shake and Blake is this concussion. You will see this come into play a couple times. Corruption will fail. Buffed up, we brought Odin along for that. Odin's a good champion, but here he's pretty much just a pre-fight champion. And then this Prey on the Feeble. Yeah, I don't think that really has much to do with anything. So let's go ahead and jump into this. We will place the Odin pre-fights and then get into this. And then for synergies, the synergies that I have been running here, I believe is with, let's see, Silver Surfer. There's a 15% attack rating while the opponent is corrupted. Again, we've talked about wanting to get in corruption. We will explain how that happens. Darkness Inside You there with Hood, who I absolutely love, is that while the opponent is inflicted with 12 armor breaks, Knull gains an indefinite energized buff. So you'll see that come into it. And then we have a synergy there with Sim Supreme that is giving us a really nice 35% attack rating when the defender is immune to a debuff. So you're going to see that happen here in this fight. So like we talked about, because of the Awakened ability, we started off with the Living Abyss debuffs already on Ultron, which means that all of these mediums and heavies we're landing, we're already up to 23 of them. I threw the special 1 because the special 1 is what starts your corruption timer. You can see it's about to trigger, except we have the concussion on us. Plus I took a nice heavy to the face, but because of the concussion, the corruption did not trigger on Ultron. No big deal. We'll go ahead and throw our SP1 again, try to get the concussion off of us. I'm also here, I think it's right here, going to show you that the light attacks do not, they don't have that true accuracy on them. It's just the mediums, the heavies, and then that special 1. So here we go, right here. There we go. I intentionally did that. I wanted you guys to see it. 1, just to further point out that yes, he is an evade counter, but you gotta be smart about how you're going about it. And 2, this will give us a really cool chance to show his healing power. So here we go. We are gonna be going all the way to our special 3, which will immediately trigger corruption. Although, here's the negative and the positive. The special 3 is gonna kill Ultron. He's at 31% health. These are relatively beefy opponents. We had, I think, about 20 some odd armor breaks on him. And through the special 3, and he's dead. He's dead. We would have triggered corruption, which again, thanks to the Awakened ability, would have meant we would have gone unblockable and unstoppable. So you can time that very well. It's a very, very cool tactic. You really obviously want the opponent to not have a bar of power. Nothing exciting is going to happen in this Jubilee fight at all. In fact, I will fast forward it. I just wanted to show it to you so you can see. I really want to show the healing factor of this guy. It's part of what to me makes him top shelf, because the damage in the utility is very, very, very good. Then you add on this healing, you've got a special champion in my opinion. So here we go. We're going to move into this next fight against Hulkbuster, where one of the key things I want to show, there's 2 really awesome things I want to show. 1 is how much Knull can heal. And 2, I'm going to show his, I want to show his Awakened ability, which we will, I'll edit this out, I think. No, it looks like I already did. So here we go. So 1 is Knull's healing. Look, we entered the fight at 55% health. 2 is the reach on his heavy. It is very, very good. It's not like Cable amazing, but it's good. You're going to see me start to get comfortable with the spacing and using the heavy, like right here, there we go, to punish a special attack. We are going to go all the way to the special 3. Why am I doing that? A couple reasons. 1 is that means we're not throwing a special 1 or a special 2. He still does take recoil damage. Additionally, we've got this armor break on from Hulkbuster. So that combined with the healing we're getting from recoil, from the bleed and poison, and then having our healing maxed out, will power maxed out. Look at this. We're healing 243 and we're only taking 51 damage. We're all the way up to 76% health. Also remember what I told you. You can also trigger corruption from the special 3. It's even a longer corruption. It's a 25-second one. and we will be unstoppable and unblockable coming out of it. I don't recall if I take advantage of that here. No, I was pretty smart not to. There, I got in a hit, but Hulkbuster had his SP1, so smart not to just dive right in. And then when you land your light attacks, when the opponent is corrupted, you will pause the timer. So here we go. So medium, light, 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 all these lights, you see the pause timer of corruption. It's kind of like the maroon passive looking in the corner. And then I want to show you this right here. He should self-repair. You see it. And then you see it was replaced by a degeneration because he tried to heal while lower than, I think it was the 31% that the Sig ability kicks in. No healing. Not only do you not heal, you're going to get a degen. Really, really cool stuff, in my opinion. All right, so we started that last fight at 55%. We're going to start this one, I think, at like, 99. That's pretty good. Especially for a fight that went so fast. I had trouble talking about all the things that were happening in it. I was not able to finish it. This one, I wanted to show you the armor up removal off of the medium there. You can see that it happened right there. Not only are we removing the armor up, now remember, it's only a 75% chance, so it's not guaranteed. You want to make sure it happens, and you're going to see me mess up a few times here against Black Panther. But it is 75%, and you will remove it, and you will get the benefit of placing that Living Abyss debuff. You can see we just got rid of Black Panther's armor ups there. I'm going to go in, land my light attacks, which again also not only has the benefit of pausing the corruption timer. That's a way to get it to extend significantly longer and get to your SP2 like we are right here, which also then places 10 armor break debuffs. That's pretty darn nice if you ask me. But that light attack, again, remember, and I want to make sure I get this right. Let me make sure I get this right. It inflicts an instant bleed, dealing 65% of hit damage. So you get the hit damage, then 65% of a bleed through direct damage. And then the mediums, if you land the medium 2, you're getting a 10% heal, 10% of the damage done, right? Let's make sure we get this correct. Yeah, that was a long break. Regenerate 10% of the hit damage and inflict a degeneration buff. This fight took a little longer than it should because I was really trying to test out the armor up removal. At the time in the fight, I thought it was 100%. I did not realize it was 75%. And I recall, I was like, I think he's bugged. I was getting ready to report it. And then I went back and obviously read the description there. Afterwards, it's a 75% chance to remove. That's why even right there, you saw me hitting into the block, trying to figure out like, what is going on? But it's 75%. And I think it's still pretty awesome. It can be really, really helpful in fights. Like even like chitinous thorns and things like that. I've enjoyed using it against Guardian because you remove his armor up and he no longer can auto block your specials. There are uses for it. So there you go. Not the cleanest fight, but really shows you the ability to remove those armor ups on a champion like Black Panther. There's tons of champions like this. Moving into this fight against Howard, again, a pretty nondescript fight. I think this is a fight that we all expect Knull to absolutely demolish Howard, you know. The only thing that we want to show again is healing. We started the fight about 79% health, and I'm going to fast forward through it just again so you can see. I took all the fights with Knull. You see I'm making mistakes. I'm getting hit. Black Panther, I think I tried to punish a heavy attack. He went unstoppable, missed Ultron's evades, and we're still going to end all of this with a full health bar. So here we go. Fast forward this fight against Howard. It's a really nice matchup for Knull. He's got class advantage, just doing our damage, baiting the SP1s, landing the lights to, again, extend the corruption timer. And are we going to end it here with this? We only have 18 armor up, so that's not a ton. I am using the medium to heal back up, and you can see we're going to end this fight, it looks like, at 99% health. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good day at the office. This guy is awesome. This guy. All right. Now moving on to this fight against Emma. I do not enjoy fighting Emma if I can't armor break her. And I originally thought this might be a real issue for Knull because he doesn't armor break until the opponent is corrupted. How is this going to work out? How's this going to work out? I'm going to have to bait heavies, which means I'm going to be taking these hits on a block. He's going to be just fine. He's going to be absolutely fine. So here we go. We're landing our mediums as much as we possibly can to get those Living Abyss debuffs up. I should bait her special one. Ever since it was the Summer of Pain and those Emmas, now I'm a little hesitant with Emma. But anyways, landing our special one, the encroaching corruption timer is up, as you can see. Doing what I can to not let the concussion be on me. I don't want to miss our corruption anymore if I can make sure it doesn't happen. And now just working to my special 2. I didn't really need to land the mediums. That's a little bit of an old habit there of not ending combos in a light, but we're ending the lights. You can see how long we're getting on the corruption. We're only about halfway through. That special 2 did significant damage. If we can land enough lights, and some people like to do that. They start doing backdrafts. It works great if you've got a nice aggressive AI. You can do light, back up, another light attack, and you can really extend the corruption timer. But you can see it did not matter. It absolutely did not matter. I'm also realizing, and this was not intentional, he's at 93% health. I apologize. He's at 93%, not 100. Honest mistake. I apologize. I'll probably start the video off with that, just so everyone knows I wasn't trying to fool anybody. But I think if you watched all this, you can see this guy's healing is absolutely no joke. All right, now we've moved on to the boss. And yes, Knull is going to take this boss, and I'm going to play terribly, and he will still solo it. We've got this Lazarus here. Everyone knows how annoying that can be. We've got Lionheart, where if we would reduce or reverse, when the defender's healing abilities would be reduced or reversed by a debuff, they aren't reversed. Well, Knull helps you get around that. We've got Arrogance, which I am going to, in the fight, act as though it does not exist. Really not a smart play, but Knull handles it just fine for me. And then Bubble Shield, right? Once we, I think it's take too many hits on the block, Old Man Logan will go unblockable. It's a node that I often just forget about. Again, it is what it is. I've already said I'm not going to play it very well, but let's go ahead and jump into the fight. Okay, so this is going to be really cool because we are running Despair, and that's why you're already seeing these ones, these red ones all over the place. It's because we have so many debuffs. The Living Abyss debuffs do count as debuffs. That Old Man Logan's healing is already being canceled out. In fact, he's just getting a lot of negative ones. We're going to do our best to build up to the corruption timer. Again, I told you, I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I kept forgetting about the falter, and I definitely forget about Bubble Shield a few times. There it is. Old Man Logan, the corruption is about to happen. There it is. We're now unstoppable and unblockable. I should just go in and punish him. Because of his health pool, in hindsight, maybe I should have gone all the way to the SP3, but it's fine. It is absolutely fine. And I think that's part of, no, I don't think it is. It's part of what I know I really like about Knull, is that you don't have to play a certain way. It's not all about if you do A, B, C, and then D, you're gonna eventually get to, letter G and you hit that button and you win. There's multiple ways to play him. He has multiple sources of damage. And while he's doing all this damage, he's healing. He is absolutely healing. So here we go. We're gonna throw the SP3 as we've talked about. This will create a significantly longer corruption. It's gonna be a 25-second corruption that can still be paused by landing light hits. That's nice damage. In the fights, I did not realize how much damage that SP3 is doing. It's much better than I realized. So here we go. You can see I'm starting to try to play around. I remembered the falter timer there. Well, nicely done, Vega. And now just trying to build to my SP2. You could do the backdrafts. I think that's a nice advanced way to play. I already know some of my long form fights that I do that, and it does help out. We're gonna get into our SP2, and I forgot about the falter timer. Well done. Well done. It is what it is, folks. But I think, again, this shows how great Knull is. Played this poorly, he's still going to solo. So landing our lights, trying to get back to that SP2 to get some really nice damage from it. Would have been nice if we could have done it during corruption. I should throw the SP1 there. I should have, but I did not. I think I'm going to just build to the SP3, which is fine. That's fine. We're winning the health pool battle, so what does it matter? And I should throw the SP3 here. It looks like I'm going to bait a special, maybe. I was playing very poorly. I really wanted to show how good Knull was, apparently. All right. So now we're going to go in, and then I want you to recall, though, this node has Lazarus. This node has Lazarus. So he's corrupted, and you're seeing what's happening when he gets heals now. We are just placing degeneration. See this? Degeneration, degeneration. Every time he tries to heal, this poor guy, this poor old man, finally starting to play a little bit better. This is no armor breaks too, I'm realizing. You see what happens every time regeneration pops up. And I believe this will end it. Knull is amazing. I really think this guy is top shelf. I think you pull him, you awaken him. I think he's going to clear a lot of content for you. And with the healing that he can do, he's going to save you a significant amount of items along the way. You saw, I purposely made some mistakes in the quest fights and the lane fights. I did not purposely make those mistakes in the boss fight. He still absolutely soloed the boss and made some rather annoying and difficult and tricky nodes look like absolute child's play. I am a big fan. Let me know what you think. Oh, there's the Sig. It's 117. I remember at some point I showed it. It's 117. You can see what it does. It's a great Sig. I definitely fully intend to get him to Sig 200 at some point, and when it's time for me to do another rank 4, he will very much be in the conversation for me. Let me know what you think, how much you're enjoying Knull. I know there's a lot of fans already out there, people who probably pulled him early and you really discovered them, and I hope I see you in the long form questing Knull video as well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.